Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Laser Everything Live once again. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat as usual. Just want to make sure our audio is good and squared away before we start doing anything crazy, which we're doing today. We've got a big crate here. I think it might be from Bing Yan Laser, which is a newcomer here at Laser Everything, but I'm not positive. And I won't know for sure until we open it up. It is still in the shopping cart here, so we're gonna have to get it up onto the desk. And I'm really excited about this latch mechanism here. I feel like that's gonna make it super easy to open. So we're gonna find out, and we're gonna open it up. The curious thing is it's got a lithium-ion battery warning label sticker on it, and I wasn't under the impression that this laser was battery operated, so I'm not really sure what is in here. But before I blab on for too long, I'm going to check chat. And let's see. Gretch is here saying, hey. Madly Crafty, what's up? Vent cleaning, crazy. I have a 100-watt fiber laser I'm ordering online with 3 lenses for a total of $3,900. Does that sound too cheap to be true? It certainly does. That's very, very, very inexpensive. I would be interested to know what you actually get and where they're cutting corners. 100-watt laser source itself should cost like $3,900. I mean, there's certainly like deals out there where you can trade a little bit of quality, but man, I'd be lying if I said that wasn't concerning. What's up, Edward? If it has a latch on it, it's not a crate, it's a chest. I like that. I should have used that. Yeah, I know I'm off screen because I'm actually preparing to lift this onto the table, but I can't read chat without getting closer to the monitor because I'm old and blind. I just want to make sure I say hi to everybody. I also don't have my mouse, so I can't scroll up. So if you were here early and said hey to me early, hi, sorry. Kyle's not here yet to read chat. He's on his way. Should be here in a minute. Oh, this isn't as big as it looks. It's definitely liftable. I carried it down the stairs from our loading dock. So whatever it is, it's light. Oh, God. Grocery cart.
Hey.
Hey, there he is. What's up, sexy?
What up, buddy? What up? What up?
So I just put the crate on the table.
Very nice. Very nice.
And I was just talking about how I carried it down the pit, dude. I carried it like right down the pit. So it's not that heavy. It's like definitely liftable. I also told them that it's probably from Bing Yan Laser, but I'm not sure. And that they're newbies. We haven't ever used any of their equipment before, and I don't really know anybody who has. Yeah. We're very eager to send this to us, if that's what this is. I'm still not 100% sure. And I don't have any really small lasers at the shop. I gave the EM Smart to my little brother, because he wanted to start doing some fiber laser engraving.
Yep.
But since then, everything I've had up until literally last week when we got the SFX laser has been very large. So I am looking forward to having a smaller unit in the shop again. Whew, here's the front view. Wow, that just fits into frame, huh? Look at that. It's actually a nice view. I think it was Gretch earlier in chat said if it has a latch, it's not a crate, it's a chest, which I found very amusing.
I mean, that's fair. But if it's also screwed shut, does it bypass that definition?
Yeah. Also, a Ventful Dryer Vent Cleaning Company, I don't know his actual name yet, said that he bought a 100-watt laser for $3,900, and I told him it was super sketchy. And then he is just now saying it was Bing Yan. So this machine came from the company that he bought a sketchily priced laser
Is it the
from.
same company, or is it the same like location surname thing?
I think it's
because a lot of Chinese companies put their location as the first half of their name.
Yeah, but I don't think I've seen them identify themselves as anything other than Bing Yan. I don't know. You can do some research.
We'll
I need pliers.
But, so if it is from the same company, at least this will give us an idea of their quality once Alex digs into it.
Yeah.
But The price itself would concern me a little bit because that is exceedingly low for the going rate of a 100 watt.
Yeah, right. That's what I said.
When I got my 100 watt, the price was between like 12 and 16 grand. And that was a little over a year and a half ago. That was a year ago, October.
Eventful says, my name is Andrew. What's up, Andrew? And it's from Bing Yan. So he's saying like, that's definitely it. And if you have the link, it won't work in YouTube chat because we have links blocked. But if you want to send a link in Discord.
Yeah, drop it in like random chat and I'll take a look at it.
Oh, that's so nice. Look, I didn't have to pry anything. It is like a chest.
That is nice, yeah.
Just opens.
Random chat is under the trending section. If you drop it in there, I'll take a look if you could, Andrew. But yeah, so just in terms of pricing, that would worry me a little bit, just based off that. Indeed. Right now, 100 watts, from what I remember, they've dropped about 30%, 40% since I got mine. So now you're talking between like low 8s and like 14 grand, at least from what I've seen.
Certainly more than $4,000.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's not including shipping and all that stuff, which that's going to factor into the price somewhat. And you're also going to have to worry about customs and duties, which is 33% or something like that.
You said duty.
I did say duty. So you're going to have to factor that in. He said 3,900 does include shipping. Okay, so I am a little worried. We'll have to look into
that's worrisome.
Send us the link in random chat if you could in Discord, and I will take a look and see if it's from the same people. If it's the same company, then we know what Alex is gonna see. Should at least give you an indication of quality, to some degree. If it's from a different,
I'm more concerned that like. I'm more concerned that there was like some kind of miscommunication and he's just not going to get 100 watt in the mail. Not that I want to stick up for these guys too early. We don't have any existing relationship with these guys prior to them emailing me and saying, do you want this at the right time? They were just in the right time at the right place. I don't want to stick up for them too early. I don't know.
Yeah, for all we know, it could be like an overstock problem and they have to like clear out their warehouse or something. But
we have no idea. So
we'll see.
I can't get this last one open. Sorry for the banging, guys.
I apologize. I can't competently say your name, but Laser Kasak, I think it says. I paid $11,000 for a 100 watt Gweek, and it is very good. Lenses from 50 to 300 worked. Okay, yeah. So I mean, 11 grand for a 100 watt would be right, kind of in the ballpark as I'd expect.
11 grand is not 4.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
I mean, who knows? Maybe it's just a right time, right place deal, and it worked out good. 3,900 would be what I would expect to pay for a 50 watt right now. And like maybe a 60 watt if like you got a really smacking good deal. But that might be a stretch. I don't know. I would have to review prices from a couple places, but
all right, last of the banging here, guys. Sorry. Again.
Honestly, it's not coming through that bad.
Good.
We hear it, but it's not terrible.
All right, there we go.
I'm gonna grab myself a fresh beverage.
Woo! Look at that. All right.
Drink check. What are you guys drinking today? Alex, you got a Coke over there?
You know what? You know I do.
I got it's from Coke, but it's not Coke. Got me that Canada Dry Fruit Splash Cherry Ginger Ale.
Oh, you know what I just realized? Uncrating a thing means I have to now carry a crate up the stairs.
You do. It's okay. You got that dad strength. You know what I appreciate about what you're showing me right now?
What?
If that got left out in the rain, you wouldn't be totally and absolutely screwed.
Yeah, that's true.
Cloud Ray did the same thing with their wrap job, and actually it looks like, I mean, it's a little early to tell, but it looks like they did a pretty good job at trying to factor for like if it shifts in the truck and stuff. It looks like they did a good job on padding, so that's good.
Yeah, this is their inspection report, it looks like. So here are some of the things that they tested for according to the report.
Yep.
Control card, scanner. These are all 2-hour continuous working tests. Central wavelength, output power, power regulation range, power supply voltage. That's a big one. Scanner test, vector pattern engraving. No MOPA, so they skipped that one. Cabinet, light path, scanner and lens, label. Charging seat, button, USB, focal distance frame, charger, appearance of the whole machine, and accessories. So they seem to believe that this is like up to their quality assurance standards. And the first thing is a ruler. You guys see that? I'm on the right camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got a nice little metric
overhead.
measuring ruler in there. I actually don't have one of these. I'm kind of stoked that I have.
I have like 5 of those now, and let me tell you, I'm not even kidding when I say I keep one underneath the bed of every single one of my galvos.
That's awesome.
It is invaluable.
This is interesting.
They're
but nothing for the parts.
You know what that is? That's probably repacking from the source.
Yeah, true.
So they're recycling foam, which is totally fine.
So I can confirm just from what, oh, dude, this is such an awesome bag of silica. Look at that. That's so huge. I'm keeping this too.
Goes hand in hand with that plastic bag, bud.
Yeah. So this is the Bing Yan. I can say that right now because I recognize the tower. It's a very like EM Smart style tower. And we'll take a closer look at all of this stuff, guys, when we get kind of the crate off the table. You said I am in the overhead view, right?
Yeah, you're on overhead, and I made you full screen.
Okay, good. Because I'm like just kind of tippy-toeing over the box right now. Okay, let's see. So here's the work bed, very small, as you can see. The whole kind of unit, this is going to be a small one, guys. That's why I accepted this in the first place, because we didn't really have any stuff going on with anybody offering a smaller unit. And I really wanted one for the shop. Everybody else on the team has been getting like these small units, and I've been a little bit jelly. So, dude, I'm really looking forward to hearing more about the Makera. Oh wow, the rest of this is just like in a box.
I've been working on a project on that I'm hoping. Well, it's a work in progress, but I've been working a little bit with the ring rotary on that, and I'm excited to do a video on that.
Nice. Can you cut me back to the front? Oh, you're not logged in. I'll do it. Nope, it's fine. I got it. It'll take me less time. I'm just used to you being logged in. Since this is just a box, there's not really much left to look at on the overhead, guys. So I'm switching it back to the table for now. There we go. Ugh. All right, and this is labeled as a portable handheld marking machine. So there we go, and we're done with the crate. So so far, dude, packaging, I'm about it. They put the whole cardboard box in a plastic bag. Like, that's awesome. Okay, and so far, here's the, just for scale, guys, there's that work bed, right? That's like a plate carrier plate. It's not very big at all. And the tower, when it eventually does sit on it, will sit there. It looks to be about 200 millimeters, maybe in travel, but I'm sure it's marked. And again, we'll take a closer look at that in a second. Everything else should be in this box. How are we doing on attendance today?
Up to 32 viewers.
Nice, guys.
So if you guys are excited to see what's going on, or you enjoy hanging out, or you're excited to see another compact laser, please smash that like button. And alternatively, if you're just, you're having a bad day, maybe hit that unlike button. That's cool too.
Oh, okay. Maybe this is like a refrigerator. Okay. This might be like a refrigerator open here. Yeah. Because I can't pull that off, so I'm just gonna do the
little slippy doodle.
Flippity doodah.
Heck yeah.
Okay, there's that. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Whoa, look at that, dude. This one has a screen on it too. I did not expect that at all. All right, we're gonna be really careful here and just kind of unpack things one by one. This looks like a like focal height frame, like the acrylic ones we saw on the SFX the other day. Here we've got our cable in here. Let's pass some judgment on how this is packed here. So, oh, here's our focal distance meter, right? So instead of like a big full cage, this one is literally just like an arm. It's like an arm that comes out from the machine. The fiber optics look fairly well taken care of. I'm a little concerned that this, I don't know if you guys can see that, but here's the laser path right here, and it's just kind of like butt up against the plastic. That said, this box was in a crate, so I'm less concerned about that packaging just because the box had plenty of like room to breathe inside of the rigid packaging it was around. If they had just shipped this in a cardboard box, I would have been far more concerned. Laser marking glasses. Do these pass the laser marking glasses test? Oh my God, they do, dude. These look like free mascots.
That's what I like to hear.
And I can
almost make out the writing on camera from here.
Yeah, OD7 for $900 to $1,090. We also get some, it looks like UV coverage, but I can't, it's labeled in a different way, like onto a different standard. I don't know what LB6 plus means, LB5 plus. But it looks like there is some UV coverage on these too. I'm just excited that they printed the thing on the stuff. Yeah. I don't know if I can get these to focus. Can you see the writing on there?
We can see there's writing. There's no way we're going to make out what it is, but
well, there is writing, and that's great. I've been complaining about that for a very long time. Good job, Bing Yan. Bing Yan. There's actually some paperwork in here that just looks like instructions and QC pass. It also has a microfiber cloth and some clips, so you can clip it for some neck wearage. But that is very exciting. This is more exciting than I think you guys might think it is. This is the first time I've ever been shipped a laser, ever, that has come with glasses that are actually rated, and that rating is clearly displayed on the glasses. So good job. That's early points from me for that.
I have some news while you're working into that.
What's up?
So the link Andrew sent, I did grab it out of random chat and look it up. It does look like it is the same company. So depending on how this goes, we may be giving some consumer protection advice. So we'll see. So Andrew, if you're listening, this is a good one to watch.
So looks like it's shipped with a JG lens, which is nice. Yep. 110 millimeter workspace on this one, serialized, and it's definitely one of those smaller. I think you were right, like 55 millimeter.
Yeah, I believe it's an M55 thread on those, which is what you're going to see on the more compact size stuff from Monport's been doing it, Commarker's been doing it. I think even OMTech and CloudRay might have machines that kind of fall into this realm too. But yeah.
Yeah. This, as you can see, is incredibly small. This is like very, very, very small. It's also entirely billet aluminum, it feels like. So that's cool too. This, I'm sure, will be for mounting to the tower, and we'll see what that process is like. These definitely look threaded. So there's going to be screws involved, which is fine considering it is metal. It's certainly got some weight to it despite the small size, and it's textured nicely. So far, this looks really quality. It's also got a button under here. I'm assuming this is for like the red light focal distance kind of meter, but we'll investigate that in a minute too. And we've got a couple more threaded holes on the bottom of the unit there. And that's it for the scan head assembly. So with that, we'll just kind of feed this out. Now, you might be thinking, based on my comments earlier about the fiber optic cable being jutted up against the wall of this, that this can't be good, no matter what I'm about to lift up. But that was actually one of the cool things I noted about this when they sent me some photos of it. And that is that the fiber optic cable very smartly comes out of the unit at a 90-degree angle with a fixed housing on there, which is pretty freaking cool. So good design there. I like that too. It looks like we've got a USB port. What this fiber optic cable looks like on the other side of this housing, that will be interesting to see. That I don't have an answer for yet, but we'll take a look at it there. We've got some cooling vents here, so the source is obviously going to be nearby. And if we lift this out, the screen on this particular unit is on the top, which is also interesting, different from the SFX, which had it on the side. Is there anything even on the side? Let's see. Just their logo. So BY laser right there. This is the BYGS handheld laser marking machine. I know you guys are getting some reflection there. There you go. And on this side of the unit, guys, opposite of the fiber optic cable, we are looking at a power button, which works because, oh my God, it's got a battery in it. And inside here, it looks like maybe a little foot switch connector. It's a 2-pin connector there. So that may be for connecting a foot switch or some other kind of accessory. Otherwise, it's pretty bare on the back side, if you want to call it that. We do just have a small label here. Fiber laser marking machine, laser class 4. They've got a serial number, laser power wavelength. So this is the 50 watt at 1064. So that's impressive. And it consumes about 700 watts. That sounds right. We've got a little handle here. The handle is foamed for gripping. It's not the best foam, but it's foamed for gripping. And that is it. I don't see any other I/O. We've got 4 screws along the top end here and 4 along the bottom, plus these ones on the outside. Some of these are a little loose, which is to be expected when it comes across seas. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what's on the inside of this unit and checking out the OS. I really want to see the operating system. But we're almost done, guys. It also has a little goodie bag here, greener tool bag. So we can see what kind of tool goodies they've included with the machine here. Some of the usual stuff. Looks like just a laser settings notebook. Oh, dude, yes. This is like my 12th set of these. You love these, don't you?
You can never have too many Allen wrenches.
Dude, yeah. But this particular set.
Yeah. I actually don't have that particular set.
This looks like a sealed USB flash drive. Maybe they just taped it shut. Yeah, all right. Not sealed. So I'm sure we'll find like some EasyCAD on there or something. I don't know. We're going to find out. In here, it looks like the rest of the mounting assembly for the tower. So we'll play with those shortly. A pack of aluminum cards for testing. That's nice. Just the regular ones. Glancing at them, they look like 0.2s. And we've got a very lightweight, kind of cheap and concerning feeling power supply. What does this pull? 25.2 volts at 3 amps. That is very specific. I'm concerned with how light this is compared to like the SFX one. This weighs like nothing.
In voltage to the other one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's more the weight that I'm struggling with. It feels like there's nothing in it. But we will get to that. I guess that's about it, guys. You're kind of looking at the whole package here. I'll switch you back over to the front again, just so you can get an idea of like the scale that we're working with here. So there it is.
Got a little slope top to that screen. That's nice.
Yeah, it's got like a little slopey slope there. Here's the handle with the foam. Here is the size of the scan head in relation to the actual body of the machine. You're very, very limited I/O over here. I don't see anything that. Oh, okay. So this is the power port, which seems obvious now that I'm looking at it. So it's just the 2-pin, positive and negative. So that's the power port on there with the cover, power button, and the USBs on the other side, and that's it. Very, very simple I'll say, compared to what we just saw from SFX. It's so weird seeing, like, because the SFX was very, very nice, but like now that I have this in my hands, I'm like, man, the SFX could have done this or that. I'd love a tower, like some kind of like tower system that I could use with that machine. But then it's also like missing some things that the SFX clearly has, like more of that IO. I can tell you right now, like we don't get easy access to that battery like we did on the SFX, where you could just open a battery compartment and pull it out and swap in a new one. We're definitely gonna have to open the unit in order to get to that. So we'll see what that process is like. We can't charge the battery outside of the machine. So that's another difference so far between the two. But we do have an all metal scan head assembly. And of course, it's going to come with some of the nicer pieces of having the scan head assembly with the tower and the bed. So we'll get to unwrapping all of that. Actually, right now, I think we'll do that next. So let's get all these different peripherals kind of unwrapped and out in the open so that we can take a closer look at them and maybe get our tower assembled. And after that, we'll get the thing powered on and we'll play with it a little bit. It'll be the end of my rambling for a moment, Kyle. Sorry, I won't shut up.
So we got a little catch up to do. So we got Anthony joined us. Got caught up cleaning the house. Did I miss anything? You're here at the right time. You got here about 15 minutes ago, and that's when the action started.
Send that boy the StreamYard link.
LaserCastX says, which 3D printer do you recommend for making advertising letters? Work surface, 500 millimeter working surface.
That's all you, bro.
Yeah, so we haven't gotten big into 3D printing here on the channel, but we are kind of getting into it in the back end. I've personally bought it's a Trudon 2.0 made by Formbot Vividino, which is, I guess, is like a partnership kind of deal, but it's through Formbot. And the idea behind it is it's kind of influenced by a Voron, which is like an enthusiast grade, completely hand-built printer. But instead of spending like 40 or 60 or 80 hours building it and troubleshooting it, you're only spending like 3 to 6 hours building it. Like I spent 5.5 hours building it, and it's because I missed a couple of things in the steps, which is entirely my fault. And then beyond that, I was also filming it, so I had to move stuff around and whatever. But in terms of that, I mean, it's a decent printer, but it's not 500 millimeter bed size. If you want 500 millimeter bed size for a 3D printer, you have some really limited options. And I really don't know what I would recommend for that, because I haven't used anything that big or from a brand that offers anything that big.
Just go with the popular stuff. I say that because you're going to find a bigger support community with that kind of stuff, especially if you're new.
Like
like there's 80 million people or whatever own like an Ender Pro. So it's like there's going to be people out there, Discord servers and forums and stuff, so people like trying to do what you're trying to do.
Yeah, there's like the Comgrow T500, which is essentially, I believe Comgrow and Creality are partnered or something like that. I don't know which brands are partnered anymore, but it's essentially a bed slinger, and there's a lot of bed slingers from like Elegoo and just a lot of brands have come up with really big bed slingers these days. And a lot of the bigger 3D printing channels have done at least first look unboxings with them, maybe not reviews, but at least gives you an idea of what to expect on day one with it. You could check out Edutech Jim. You could check out Uncle Jesse. I mean, there's a lot of 3D printers. 3D Print Farm, but he hasn't been active in a while, but he still makes good content.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Jerry 3D HP.
Yep.
He's cool.
Big one.
There's you got a lot of options when it comes to 3D printing stuff. We are very much beginners in that realm, so I wish I could offer more helpful information there, but just not something we're well versed in yet. Yuri says Bing Yan is top notch. I purchased 3 galvos from them: 60-watt MOPA, 5-watt UV, and a 40-watt CO2 galvo.
Wow.
0 issues. All arrived ahead of schedule. Customer service has been great. That's good to know.
That's a glowing review.
Absolutely, we love to hear it. The big thing I always advocate for, regardless of where you're buying it from. If you're buying it from a super expensive brand, if you're buying it from a cheap brand, it doesn't matter. When you're buying something this expensive that you're using as a tool and it has a lot of parts, you want to know what exactly is coming on that laser. So you'll notice a lot of the time on an Alibaba store listing, there's like 400 different part options that are there, but on the selection thing, you only typically get to choose like the power and maybe the source model, and that's pretty much it. So if you have any specific desires or needs for a motorized tower, or if you prefer a not motorized tower like Alex, or if you prefer, a Max or a Rakis or a JPT source, some brands have those as options. Some just say they offer all 3, but you don't know what you're buying off the listing page because it's not an option.
Those are the worst.
Whatever. Just make sure you get an itemized list of exactly what you're getting. I would message them through the messenger on Alibaba or AliExpress and just ask them to confirm what are you getting as part of this listing, because then you have Alibaba or AliExpress buyer protection. So if you don't get what you were expecting, you have recourse to be like, hey, I was told this was part of this listing. I did not get it. Please rectify this. Otherwise, you're kind of up crap river without a paddle. You know what I mean? So always get, an itemized list of what you're paying for, a lens size, a tower size, if it's motorized, what parts you want or are coming with it, that kind of thing. So,
thought these screws were all the same size, and they are not. These are, or at least the heads are different sizes. So I'm going to set those for aside, the big chunky boys.
Yeah.
This.
Alex, are you planning on opening that machine up today?
You know I am.
All right. So we'll get first look on the internals. I don't know if Yuri didn't say he checked out the internals, the wiring quality and all that. He didn't say he didn't, but he didn't say he did. So
we're going to find out.
Yeah, we're going to find out what the internals look like. So if you ever do have to service it, you'll know what you're getting into with that purchase too.
Yeah, and we will afford this laser the same graces that we afforded the SFX handheld, in that it's a handheld. Yeah. You can still see whether or not there's quality without regards to serviceability. Serviceability on this particular laser is not really a factor just because of its size. So I'm not particularly expectant of high serviceability, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Split machine,
So there's the tower installed on the bed. I love this bed. This is exactly kind of what I was hoping for as far as bed size goes. And this is our assembled focal distance, kind of like Ranger here. These are slotted, so it's not as precise as like what we were looking at with the SFX, where it like only goes in one way. This is clearly going to shift up and down. So we will have to dial that in. I'm hoping that button on the bottom of the scan head is actually for like a red dot distance thing, because then I can just fire the red dot up, move it into where it needs to go, and then screw those down. But I'm kind of losing hope because I don't see any red dot emitters on this. So I'm not entirely sure that is its purpose. It may just be like a trigger button for firing, which is something we'll talk about later too. But those are my notes so far. It seems pretty straightforward. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 there. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that mounted up. having the tower and the bed will make it far easier to test this unit than the SFX, where I was like literally just kind of holding on to the thing the entire time too. So I really do appreciate having the tower come with this unit. Oh, I dropped a screw, bro. Not good. And I found it. Still not sure what these are for. They may just be for the bed. For me, I can already tell you it makes far more sense to have this plate mounted to the tower directly all the time, and then take it on and off from the scan head, which I think may be its intended use anyway, because where's this supposed to go other than like there? But I'm not looking forward to like screwing these bolts into the backside of this here. I may just disconnect it from the scan head now.
I wish there was like a quick latch for it.
I know. I said the same thing about the SFX, and chat was like, well, then it wouldn't be like as accurate. And I guess with the SFX, that's true because you have like that fixed shield, you know, and that's just, it is what it is. So that is going to affect that. But this, clearly these are slotted, so this is meant to be moved around. So you could take the time to dial that in after a quick latch has been like employed.
Yeah, there are definitely quick latch setups that have absolutely zero wiggle or variance for them. So there are options. It's just a matter of engineering it in. It's not a deal breaker. Just a wishful thought.
Yeah.
I gotta step away for a minute.
Yep. I'm just going to finish getting these screws out, and then I'm going to mount this plate onto here, and then we should be able to mount the scan head. Also, definitely right on this 1, 2, and 3, and we've got 1, 2, 3 slots on there. So the scan head is meant to be taken on and off directly, which is better than having to do it from here all the time. So I'm glad that at least we have that option at our disposal. I don't even want to sound like too excited by it because that's the way it should just be that way. But I'd say you'd be surprised, but you guys probably wouldn't. My hands are all oily from the shrink wrap on everything, which is good. I'd rather this stuff be oiled than not oiled and all show up rusty, but it's making me a little bit slower than I would normally be. So apologies for the time I'm taking. So it looks like we just pop that. Is that right? No, I think pop that on there like that. Yes. Great. So this should be pretty painless. Another thing I'll note, just while I'm sitting here talking to myself, is machining tolerances seem great. Very little play in any of these, but things match up the way that I would expect them to without having to deal with weird inconsistencies in like the machining. That's like perfectly flat. And all of the screw holes are lining up really well. So another little point there from me on that. And there we go. So this is affixed now. And now when we want to, all we have to do to mount this is just slap the screws in there like that, and we should be good to go. When we want to unmount it, we can take it off of here and set that onto this and put the screws in there. This is a handheld laser, and I will try to make sure that we have time to use it in a handheld fashion before we wrap up for the day. But before we start messing around with that, because that's a big time suck, I'd rather just make sure that we like kind of effectively test the machine as a whole. So I'm going to mount it to the bed right now. It's one of the distinguishing features when compared to the SFX unit that we unboxed last week. So I want to make sure that we cover it. Because again, it is the reason that I accepted this laser in the first place, because I was looking forward to having a unit like that. So let's just try to get this in. Where did my little hex wrench go? It's over here. Okay. So far, so good. There we go. I was kind of hoping that would force me to level it out, and it did. With the tolerances so tight, another thing that we'll check is just making sure the scan head is level with the bed. I'd like to confirm that, just because these kind of like multi-use machines can have issues with that. I mean, ultimately, it's something I'm going to have to check every time I swap modes. It's important, so let's just get these nice and tight so we know that these are where they are intended to be. I'll run over and check chat in a second here, catch up with you guys. Really need to keep like a tablet over here or something so I can see chat without having to go back and forth. Okay, so there's the assembled unit. That was actually pretty painless. We've got our little locking mechanism here for locking the tower in place. So we'll go ahead and get that screwed in as well. Nice construction on this too. It's usually like really cheap plastic, and this one actually feels pretty good. Does it lock well? Sure does. So that's great. All right, maybe it's time, guys, for a front view. We've been overhead for a while, so let's see what we can do about showing you guys. Again, I think scale is important here because we are talking about a really small machine. So I want to try to keep our expectations of scale intact as we kind of move through this together. So there you go. There it is assembled. Great view of it actually next to some of the larger, more like industrial application machines from Mactron in the background there. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are still discussing the $4,000 price tag on that 100-watt laser. Interested to see how that goes. So here's the actual unit, guys. One benefit this does have going for it is while you do have the added size of the control box with the controller and the laser source in it, this is also a 50-watt laser. So you guys have seen the portable units with 50-watt lasers. They're, you know, they stand this tall off the table, and they're quite a bit deeper. And they've actually kind of worked this into a pretty compact package over here. So I'm pleased with that. We should probably get this plugged into power. Here we've got our focus distance lock right there. Does what it's expected to do. And we've got our Z height adjustment here. It is definitely like the EM Smart style. It's well lubricated. It's moving pretty well. This handle kind of sucks, but you have to make trade-offs for size, and so I totally get that. And I would rather have this handle with its kind of like lock away self there over, it shouldn't be that loose. We're going to tighten that up. Over like one of the bigger ones that is going to bulge out on the sides when I'm trying to transport it. That is too big. It's just a tiny screw up here that I feel like needs to be tighter. Shouldn't be this wobbly. Let's tighten that down. There we go. That, oh, so much better. None of that like backlash when I change directions. So that feels really good for what it is. I think we've looked at just about everything that we have to look at here, guys, without powering it on. So next step, we're going to be turning some stuff on and hopefully trying it out. I'm really interested to see what kind of software they're running on here. If you watch the SFX episode, they were running their own kind of like custom firmware on like a custom system on a chip, and it was like a Linux operating system. So it'll be interesting to see if they went that way with something like this, or if they're looking to do more of like a off-the-shelf approach with something like a CCAD or EasyCAD board. So we'll check that out. We do have our power port here. So I do want to get this plugged into power real quick. So far, the power adapter is definitely my least favorite thing about all of this. All of this stuff is like heavy, it's machined, it's metal, it feels really good. And then that power adapter is just like the world's cheapest plastic, and it's so light. It's a little disappointing, but I'm assuming you could just, you know, if something happened, I guess, just get an aftermarket adapter. I just don't want to like start a fire. So I don't love that. I mean, even the like connector on the end of this clearly has the same quality and thought put into it. It's got like a locking mechanism on it, and it's like real heavy, good metal. Like this feels so good all the way up until here. And then this just feels like garbage. And I don't know why it's like that. Let's see. Is this keyed? Yes, indeed it is. There we go. And locks into place fairly well. Hey, it's a little loose. I was just talking shit about the power adapter again. I was saying like even the actual like plug on it has like a locking mechanism, and it's heavy. Like this piece is almost heavier than this. You know, this little piece of metal. Yeah, it's very bizarre. It's a very weird choice, but it's keyed and it locks in, I was saying, fairly well. It's a little wiggly wobbly. I don't know if I would want to like run this into a wall or something, but it's, I mean, it's in there. It's technically in there. So we've got that. It's really the only thing I was saying I haven't liked so far. That just power adapter inspires like zero confidence. But let's get it plugged in. All right, and we're plugged in. I don't see. Oh, we got power on the brick. We have like a charging indicator or anything? I don't think so. All right, well, I guess that's going to be up to software. There's the power button. You guys have seen it. So I'm going to switch back to the overhead view so that we can at least take a look at the OS a little bit together. I am assuming it's going to be oriented this way once we get it booted up. So let's take a look. Whew. Them boys are loud. Can you hear that?
Yep. In fairness, it's going to be a compact machine, so it's their theory there is probably to use like a server grade fan kind of thing to combat static pressure and, you know, force air through the small channels. But that's, I mean,
I know the SFX was only a 30 watt, but I don't remember it being nearly this loud. Oh my God, it's the same exact operating system. It's literally the same exact operating system. So I'm not even going to spend a ton of time going through this, guys. There are things I like about it, and there are things that I don't like about it. And if you want to hear me kind of get into detail about what I like and don't like about this OS, go watch the SFX unboxing that we literally just made. But it does have a lot of nice little features, like being able to move things around with a Ruida style interface. Over here on the right, you've got a bunch of transform controls. And let's see, we've got our guide light. Focus light button is a light that was not there last time. What happens when we hit that? Do we actually get, let's see, we got to pull our little lens cap cover here. And there's a single dot. I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to do with that, but it's there. I believe that this trigger is going to trigger the machine to like try to run a job. I don't want to mess up our nice work bed for as long as I can. Let's see, are there any other differences? This wasn't here last time, this product line. So it looks like it's got some more like industry focused bits included in this piece of software that I'll probably never ever use or touch, including a pedal mode option for a foot switch that I cannot connect to this machine because it doesn't have the I/O for it. So that is interesting. We got a test button, marking info, the start, our home menu, all the same text, barcode, QR code, all I thought were sufficient when we took a look at this last time. We have our battery readout over there. It's got the same user access controls as the SFX, so you can log in as an admin or delegate certain permissions to a smaller group of people if that was something that you needed to or chose to do. Otherwise, it's the same OS. Again, guys, I don't feel super compelled to tear the OS apart again, especially if I have to yell over these fans the whole time, so I'm probably not going to do that. I did have a USB with a job on it. Let's just see how that goes really quick, because if it does, we'll run something real quick. I really wish the fans didn't power up until the laser was being used. Settings, laser. Maybe this, I think maybe I recall something about like a fan controller in here. Barcode gun, plug management, I/O, comm, system info. Maybe not. No. Well, I suppose that's it then. Let's see if we can just import a graphic here. So we'll check the USB. There's a file. Let's copy that file onto the internal storage. Again, 348.5 megabytes of internal storage. We can paste that and hit OK. Oh, please select the file. OK. And there it is, just like last time. No multi-touch on this, which isn't shocking because it's the same exact panel. It's probably on the same exact SoC. And there's the file. Everything's kind of pre-configured, so it's good if you don't want to have to do any kind of extra work. One thing I haven't considered is like if I did want to get another lens for this, there doesn't really seem to be a way to switch between lenses. And that's just, again, kind of like a compromise of the system here rather than anything else. Enable fill, same issues with like the fill dialog, guys. Like I can't just do a crosshatch, which is annoying. I would have to like do multiple layers. So there is some like issues that I have with the software. But again, I go like way more into depth on that on the SFX one. 025. Okay. Contour, other parameters, great. So there it is. So we can probably like light this up, guide light. Yep, there it is. That is very big. We'll do the same test too. Let me grab, I'll grab a coaster. We'll toss the coaster under there. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to focus this thing without this. Which is kind of annoying. I mean, I can make assumptions. Like, I can assume that this needs to be level with that. I'll make that assumption. So, like, if I just kind of get that in there. But this definitely is feeling like a focal stick situation to me.
Yeah,
again,
the benefit of having the tower.
It has the option in software for focus light, but that doesn't seem to do anything. It just kind of turns the red dot on and off. I don't love that. So I'll probably end up just doing like a standard focal distance test on this and just having a stick for it. This doesn't really even tell us anything either, because I'm sure it's like close, but again, it's on slots, so we don't really know where this is supposed to sit in relation to the scan head, which is confusing, and I don't like it. Also, I realized that I didn't really do this right because it wasn't sitting on the slate. And I'm assuming, again, I'm just making assumptions here about how this is supposed to be kind of set up. So like that feels about level, sitting on the slate this time. We can move that over to the side. Turn our guide light on again. Make sure we're like all on the slate. I mean, that looks about right. I'll probably make the graphics just a touch smaller really quick. I don't want it to look bad and have it be my fault. Guide light. There we go. That fits on there well. I also have a camera view over here, guys, for you, and I will switch to that before we start. Let's see. Parameters. Modify. 1,000 speed, 50 power, 45 frequency. I mean, that should be nice and loud. So if we're hitting it, we should know. I'm going to grab my good glasses, as nice as it is that they sent their own. That seemed to be decent. I'm going to wear my no IRs because I spent enough money on them. And let's see. There we go. There's our side view there for you guys. Moment of truth here. See if we can get a little zoom action in on this. Might even be a little excessive. Let's try to keep the scale in there. I'll use this for B-roll if we do a review. And there we go. We've got that focused. Got a decent view of it there, you think, Kyle?
Yeah, I think it looks good. Maybe a hair down even.
Hair lower?
Yeah, you're just barely missing the edge of the slate.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what this thing can do. Same thing, dude. Same thing. I cannot start the laser from the control panel, even with the tower. I have to pull the trigger, which
Interesting.
Sucks. Yeah, it sucks. But I'm going to go ahead and do that. There we go.
It's doing a thing.
It's doing a thing. It's marking. It works. Yeah, dude, I feel like I should really have the ability to mark with this machine without having to touch the laser path. I don't know why the software does that. It should just have a start button. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm just not seeing it 2 lasers in a row. I think that's unlikely, but it could be the case. While this is running, I'm also just going to do my level test real quick too. Let's see if just the factory kind of configuration
gives you a whole new meaning to pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Haha.
Ah. Where did I put my little? I had my stare it out today. Here it is. So obviously the table is not level, but yeah, so those are actually fairly far off by like a couple degrees. So I would want to make adjustments to this and check the level when mounting this head. I think if I loosen the screws, it'll give me enough play that I'll be able to get it level, but we're definitely kind of tilted at an angle like this a little bit here, just based on what I'm seeing. Because this is reading almost perfectly level, and this is reading like the left dot forward. Let's see, left and right. Way off to the left on that one, and way off to the left on that one. So at least that's right. We can't easily adjust for that, but we can easily adjust for the forward and back. So
if you don't know why that's important, go check out my troubleshooting video that I did a little while back about why engravings don't come out evenly.
Yep. And there's the mark, guys. It is doing it for sure. So at the very least, functional in that right. I would like to see if we can fix that focusing issue. I'm also going to look at this screen one more time, expand. Is there really, there's no start button. Nope. There's nothing in here. I cannot start the laser from software. That's so weird to me. And that is a problem that both the SFX and the Bing Yan laser seem to have in common. Let's see just really quickly. I'd really like to see how much play we have in this kind of situation here. We don't even know. We don't even know if this was in focus. Obviously, it was close. But that's going to take more time than I think we have today. I still want to open this machine up and take a look inside. So what do I need? I need some hex wrenches. Let's see if we just loosen this up a little bit. Are we going to get enough play to kind of rock it backwards?
This just in. Alex is over here leaning with it and rocking with it.
That's right. Oh, yeah, there's definitely, can you? Probably not the best view of it, but
we can see it. We can see
there's
it.
There's enough that, let's just hope it wasn't all the way forward when we started. Yeah, there's certainly, you're going to have to pay attention. So, I mean, that's fine. It's not, I don't necessarily want to blame the manufacturer for that. It's kind of the nature of it.
That's part of the setup process. As long as it's able to be rectified with a couple quick retightenings.
Yeah. Yeah, so you'll be bringing your stereo with you if you plan on mounting and unmounting this. All right, so that's nice and tight now, and we've got the first line there and the first line there. So definitely correctable, not the end of the world. Okay, who wants to see the inside?
Yes.
Yes. Indeed. I'm going to start with the top panel. I don't think we're going to get very far on the top panel. I think it's going to be more of a bottom panel situation just because, again, the screen, like we ran into last time, certainly going to pose a couple issues, but nope, too big. I always go one size too big when I'm guesstimating hex. All right, let's take a look inside, see what they're packing. I'm expecting a very... Oh, go ahead.
You don't happen to know the price on this guy, do you?
Not off the top of my head.
All right. I'm going to see if I can find it. Is this the 30 watt, 20 watt, 50 watt?
It's 50, dude.
Oof.
50 watts in this beast. I wanted one of the actual all-in-ones in which the components were housed below. Yeah, and they were like, well, that one doesn't go up to 50 watts. And I was like, I don't really care. And they were like, we care. You need 50 watts. So it's like, okay. So this is I think this is my first 50 watt source.
Do you know if it's a Rakis or a Max or a JPT?
I don't. We're going to find that out too. I have no idea what they packed in here. It can't be a JPT. JPTs are way too big to fit in this box.
They make some custom smaller ones. But at 50 watts, I don't know. My money would be on a Rakis for that.
All right, let's see here. So right off the bat, definitely a lot of custom wiring, guys, a lot of hot glue. We expected that. And this is the exact same SoC as I kind of figured it would be. I guess I like how this is kind of set up in here. It's kind of all mounted on the back panel, so everything that I can't touch like together, you know? So at least we have that going for us. They also, like the really sensitive ribbon cable over here is not getting hurt because I'm taking the panel off. So that in and of itself is nice. The cables over here are much thicker and I think are going to resist me abusing them substantially more. Inside we have a 12,000 milliamp hour battery. I think the other one we looked at was like watt hours, so it's not going to be a one-to-one. We'd have to convert to compare them. I'll probably do these systems are so similar, guys, that we'll probably end up doing like a comparison video, right, Kyle? I feel like we kind of have to.
Yeah, probably. I really appreciate the fact that this is coming apart way friggin' easier.
Yeah, that's very nice. I also haven't broken a warranty sticker yet, so hooray.
Yeah, again, we know there's legalities around that in the U.S. and whether or not those are even applicable, but you know, just keep in mind you're dealing with a company from another, country. So
yep. Inside, we're sporting a 50 watt max source, and I know when I unboxed the SFX, I read you the stats. I'm going to do the same thing so that I can check it against it later. But in here, we've got the MFPN-50M -1, it looks like. And there's a bunch of numbers after it that I don't think are really relevant. Supply DC 24 volt, full load current 11 amps. And there's actually a QR code on there as well. Manufactured by Max Photonics. So it seems like a legit Max source. Definitely a custom build. You can tell from the wiring over here. And I mean, that's about it. I can kind of touch on earlier in the episode, I talked about like being nervous about what it looked like on the other side of the 45-degree angler. But it's actually coming like fairly straight into the case. And they do have like a nice responsible loop on this. So the SFX, there was like no extra. There was no extra fiber optic cable. It literally went exactly where it needed to go, which is typically how I prefer it. But if you're going to have extra And this does, I do appreciate how that has been handled in here.
You said
Because
this was a MFPN 50M?
This is the MFPN-50M, yes.
So it is the same model series as the one that's in the SFX.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The SFX has the 25M, MFPN 25M.
There we go. Okay. Just going to lay this flat here, try to give you guys a little bit of a better view of what I am looking at. If there's anything that you can't see while I'm talking about it, please let me know. Good mounts over here on your USB port. I don't think you're going to have any issues with that. Right back here, trying not to shock myself here. Right back here, you can see the inlet of the 45-degree angle component, if you want to call it that. And it is like a nice straight run. You can see that yellow right there. It just kind of runs straight in there. That looks all good. I don't have any problems with that. We've got nice buses here. They've got nice acrylic panels over the front. Everything seems labeled well. This, I'm assuming, again, here, we had one of these in the SFX too, probably like a charging controller. Just trying to see what I can see here. I'm assuming this is some kind of like charging controller, but I really don't know. Also, this battery pack definitely feels like it comes out, which is nice. So you can swap the battery on this if you'd like. Let me, before I get too excited about that, let's see. What are we talking about wiring wise here?
Not a quick swap situation, it looks like.
It is, no, it is not a quick swap situation. Absolutely not. So we've got power coming in. So everything runs through the battery pack on this unit, which is different than the SFX, where the power ran directly into the SoC and then was like redistributed to other places. This one, all of the power is passing through the battery pack, which leads me to believe that I could probably run the SFX online without power or without a battery, but I don't think that would be the case here. I think if you remove the battery from this unit, I don't think the unit would operate at all. So that's in, and then we've got, it looks like just 2 lines back out to the rest of the system. And that is not overly complicated, but replacing this battery, I think, will absolutely cost you some soldering. It feels like there might be a connector under this. I don't necessarily want to tear it apart right now. Also, it doesn't really look like they finished the shrink tubing on that. These up here would just be screws. So you just pop those 2 out with screws and pop 2 new ones in. You're also probably at some point going to have to mess with what's under this insulation on the battery cap. Because any battery, I can't imagine you'd find a battery of this size wired for this kind of like distribution of power out of the box. So I think you'd probably have to do some modifications on that too. So doable, but not fun. It certainly isn't going to be fun for you to replace the battery on this. And if you guys remember, SFX like literally designed their chassis so that you could like hot swap batteries and like charge them on the go. And that was really nice. So if that's important to you, I definitely think the SFX wins there over the way that this unit is configured. You see anything of note, Kyle, before I flip her over?
I appreciate the cable management in this one.
Yeah, it's nice cable
management.
For sure.
While we don't expect, user serviceability, it's clear they made it pretty easy to get into if you absolutely had to.
Yeah, so. Especially with those, like the way the side panels just kind of lift off.
Yeah.
And that's part of like the trade-off that we talk about a lot is like, you can have something really nice and clean looking like that SFX unit, but it's just going to be more difficult to get into, right? Like this sliding aluminum panel system, it looks way more cheesy and kind of like generic, but it comes with the benefits of just being able to like kind of pull those pieces apart.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to, while we're sitting here talking, I'm just going to tighten these screws back up on the bottom here. So this kind of uses more of like the center T model that we've talked about on some of the larger, more industrial lasers. So there is like just a like tall center piece of aluminum here in the middle that everything's kind of like mounted to. And if I release these 4 screws on the bottom, it would release that whole thing. I'm not going to do that right now because we can see just about everything we want to see since the side panels come off. But if you did want to remove the entire center like mounting panel, you could do that with these 4 screws here along the bottom. And it doesn't seem like it would be that hard to do, though it may be considerably more difficult to get back together, which is why I'm not doing that right now. I'm opting not to do that right now. But otherwise, it looks really straightforward. We're just going to flip it over here and take a look at the other side. There's not going to be much to see over here because that max laser source is taking up a huge chunk of space on that side. But I'd like to take a look at it nonetheless. So if we flip this over here and let her down gently, there you can see the 50 watt max power supply. You've got your 2 fans there. I wish I could control that fan speed when I'm not using it. Line up really nicely with our ventilation skeletonization of the wall there. So that's all good. And that's about all there is. I mean, we've got power and we've got control, and that's it over here. I don't even see a diagnostics port on this one. It's literally just power and control. So very, very, very straightforward on that. You've got your air intake over here on the front, which is, again, well slotted for responsible intake of air on that side, and your air out there. And that's about it. There's not a whole lot else to talk about here. This system's definitely not using a beam combiner, so I can almost guarantee you that this source has an integrated red dot. So some people don't like that. I'm kind of getting used to them at this point. It's just kind of the price you pay. Again, and I know we've said it a lot, especially at this size, it just kind of has to be. There isn't really anywhere in this unit to put a beam combiner. So something that you may want to consider, but again, at this size, I don't really think you have much of a choice. Yeah, they call this the nano pulsed fiber laser. Scan the QR code to get the user manual. Oh, you know I'm doing that. Hold on. Let me find my phone.
You just spoke to Alex's heart there, Max. Good job.
I would also like to double check the one in the SFX to see if that has an option to do that as well. I'm almost certain it does now that I've seen this one.
It's one thing Alex will not pass you up on. It's a good laser user manual.
I don't know where my phone is. Don't text and stream, kids. Oh, it's so disappointing because I don't want to do this again.
I could call it if you want.
Yeah, call it.
All right, hold on.
Sorry, guys. Just snag this manual. Keep your eyes out for the edit.
It's ringing.
Keep looking in my office, but I don't think it's in here. You can't scan the QR code at that size, right?
Not at that size.
I
got your voicemail. If you bring it a little closer, I could.
I will try.
Let me.
I don't care who does it. I just want a copy of it. I can't believe I'm having this problem right now. It's such a weird problem to have.
Yeah, it's not even registering it.
Oh, okay. Not that heavy, but heavy enough that I can't hold it over my head while it's in pieces.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to look for like 1 more minute, and then I'll give up, guys.
Sargon asked if it came with a rotary attachment. No, this is designed to be like an ultra portable. So like you could disconnect it from that tower base and just take this and go walk around like a factory marking stuff for them kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, it's a excuse me. Frankly, it's a handheld laser first, and it just happens to have a tower that you can connect it to. Is kind of how I'm looking at it.
This wouldn't be like, at least in my mind, this would not be like an ideal candidate for like day-to-day work in a shop, because you're going to be struggling with no mouse, no keyboard.
Yeah, no,
working
this
with
is
the
for
touchscreen.
Traveling with for sure.
Yeah,
this is for literally I need to take a laser somewhere. All right, well, I guess that's that. Oh well.
Rip
I will
phone forever.
Yeah. I mean, I'll find it off air. I'm not going to make you guys wait. But I am going to get this back together. I mean, luckily I guess it's not that difficult to take off. We'll just take the lid off, slide the back panel out, and it'll be right there. So, okay. Let's see. So let's get the back panel on first. I like how these panels aren't warped. They just go in. I'm impressed, dude. I mean, all in all, it's a very, very similar system internally to what we saw from the SFX. So a lot of the big differences that you're going to want to consider here are certainly going to be like the unit design, and this does have benefits over the SFX. Gut reaction, I think I like the SFX a little bit better as a unit, but I like this better because it just has the base and tower. I mean, that's just so nice. Like just having the option to slap the thing on a tower when it's stationary, I don't know why that's so important to me. I just feel like it ups its versatility. It's a simple addition that makes it useful in many more situations. And as we saw with the SFX, you can stand that scan head up with just the kind of cage, the laser cage there. But it's not ideal. And this certainly is going to have more use cases if you're looking for kind of a dual use laser. If you only want a handheld one, I think the SFX probably has this beat just because of the I/O. Honestly, I really like the I/O on that one, but this also has a much better trigger. So that's something too. The trigger on the SFX just doesn't do it for me, man. It's so hard to pull and not like move your hand. And this one's literally just like a clicky little button. You just click it, which I would imagine is substantially easier to do when you're trying to hold this machine up to something to mark it. So they've both got better. There's things I like about both of them. I wish I could combine them into one unit.
It looks like, if I think I have the model here, it looks like this is going for $24.50 at the 50 watt.
Well, that's very inexpensive as well.
Yeah. For something that's designed to be ultra portable, where you're kind of expecting to pay the laptop premium kind of thing, that's not bad.
I mean, dude, like with these ultra portables lately, like I've almost want to recommend them to hobbyists because they have the benefit of like that built-in operating system, that like kind of Linux setup where you don't have to futz with EasyCAD. You're not worried about finding the right computer or getting drivers or software to work. You can just kind of turn it on and use it, and it's got a really small footprint. You could put this like on your kitchen counter, and it would.
I feel like this would be great for doing shows too. Like you have the tower, you could mount this to a table in like a trailer.
Yeah,
and this would probably be a pretty decent option. And if you were going to like a venue that you couldn't bring a trailer, now you pick the thing up and you're good to go. Just make sure you have like an eye enclosure or like a backdrop to protect other people so they're not going blind.
Yeah. And when you're not trying to hold it over your head and scan a QR code, it really is manageable, especially when it's not plugged into something. I mean, you can like lift this whole piece like easily over your head and hold it there. So it's quite light. And you do get all of the benefits that you would get from a towered system while still having the option to handhold this. And I think that's, that's not nothing. There's certainly something that could be said for that being, desirable. So I like it, dude. I haven't seen anything that kind of makes me feel sus about it. I mean, you've got the max source in there. That doesn't mean what it used to, right? It's not the death sentence for your machine that it was 4 years ago. Max has certainly upped their game. It looks like they're using new sources in there. They sent what they told us they were going to send. We've got good wire management. I don't have a ton to complain about. I have the same complaints about the controller and the software that I had with SFXs, and that's not on the manufacturer outside of them choosing to use this board. That's really on whoever the software developer is. I'd like to learn more about what that software is and where it comes from. So that I can start complaining to the devs. I really wish I could fire it from the controller. What else for downsides for this? This whole thing just doesn't really do it for me as much as like the SFX's does. Theirs is like more like a kind of sleek. I just boxed the thing back up, otherwise I'd pull it out, but we'll definitely do a comparison video. SFX's felt like more like a designed finished product, and this, again, like we said, feels more like a kind of OEM build of like off-the-shelf parts, and that has benefits. So I don't want that to sound like a negative thing overall. This has to go. I hate this. It's already warm. I can feel it. It's hollow and warm, dude. So swap that out, guys, and you'll have a pretty decent machine for yourselves here. Because otherwise, I'm a fan. The 90-degree turn. I mean, obviously, they thought about some of this stuff, for sure.
Longevity and
side panels,
fiber optic.
Yeah, I wish I could swap the batteries. I wish they'd work like a connector in there, so I could like hot swap batteries. Even if they didn't change how to access the battery, I would be okay with that. 4 screws and a side panel, and I can swap the battery. Like that's fine. I'm fine with that. Just give me connectors. Work a connector into it so that I can, plug a fresh battery in when I need one. Sell extra batteries on your website. Being able to charge those on the go would be immense. Like that was one thing the SFX did really well. Their charger not only had a connection port to connect it to the machine, but also split off into another connector to charge the battery without the machine. Really smart. So
here's some data points for you.
Yeah,
so the SFX with a battery. So you had the 20 watt. That's $2,900 including shipping. That's free shipping.
Okay.
So $2,900. The one we're looking at today
watt.
For the 20.
Oh, it's 25. That's right.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
The 30 watt was 3,200. But so I guess whatever in that range.
Yep.
Looking at the 50 watt today with this one, you're at $2,450 plus it's like $300 shipping. So it's in the same price realm within plus or minus $100, right? It's a pretty compelling offer either direction if this type of machine works for you.
Yeah.
So
they definitely. I've sat here and just made a wish list about my dream combination of these two machines, but the bottom line is you're probably going to get one or the other if you're interested in these kind of machines. And if so, I think it's really going to, I think your use case is going to heavily decide which way you go. I mean, if you're just looking for power, this is the unit, dollar per watt, right? Yeah. This is, but the SFX, I think, is far more kind of like all one piece. This is like, there's a lot of stuff going on over here. The SFX is like literally a thing, and You
the
can, dude, you can
SFX
take
is
those.
like a consumer product, whereas this is meant to be kind of in between industrial and consumer.
Yeah, like prosumer, right?
Yeah, this doesn't have a swappable, like a readily swappable battery. The SFX does.
Yeah, I guess it comes down to like, are you going to sit somewhere with this when you get it where it's going? If so, this is probably the machine for you. If you're not going to be plugged in and you're going to be running and gunning constantly, despite this having the better trigger, I still think the SFX is probably the go-to unit, just because of
the battery,
the assembly and the battery. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of those are my first thoughts about it for sure. I don't hate it, and I kind of was nervous that I would, but it's pretty good. I'm having a hard time coming up with bad things to say about it. We need to find out what that software is, because that's what I really have problems with. The software is missing
like
some
it's like
big
an
things.
SoC running Linux kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
somebody's writing this obviously for this board, right? Like,
if I had to guess, it would probably be either like Fieldtech or BJJCZ,
right?
As like an EasyCAD alternative. Because this isn't that's definitely not an EasyCAD board.
No, there's no way. Yeah,
it's just software running on an SoC.
It is like the opposite of an EasyCAD board.
Yeah. Which also means you're definitely not going to Lightburn with this anytime soon if they ever support it.
No, you're not. You're just not. I would just put it out of your mind. If that ever fell into your lap one day, that's great. The software overall, the UI is good. It's just missing big things. It's like there's just like giant chunks of this puzzle that are not in the places that they're supposed to be, like being able to do crosshatches, being able to do multiple passes of the same graphic without changing the engraving like layer order. Like you can literally, I can set a layer to 5, but it's going to do like every shape 5 times in that entire layer in order instead of running the whole thing 5 times. There's just some big inconsistencies, and not being able to start the laser from the unit. Why can't I start the laser from the unit? That drives me nuts. It's like a huge oversight. Luckily, I did mention this in the SFX boxing, guys, in case you missed it. There is a system built into this software for updating the software. So you can download like a fresh firmware image and like flash it over whatever's on here, and it should update the software. I don't know where I would get those software updates because I don't know what the software is. So hopefully that's something we can make a video about for both of these units down the road too, is like how to actually make sure that you're using the most up-to-date version of the software, because it does feel underbaked. It doesn't feel done. It's missing big components of it. And they gave you the option and ability to upgrade it. So I'm assuming they're going to give you upgrades at some point. I don't think that's an unreasonable expectation. So I would really, really like to see that. Probably my number one thing with this unit. And it was the number one thing with the SFX. It's like, please just give me software updates for it. I'm begging you to update the software for this. One thing that is nice is like if we get one from like Bingyan or we get one from SFX, but not both, we very likely could use that image to flash the firmware on both of them because they're that similar. So there's a silver lining, I guess. Yeah, that was fast. That was a fast one. I had my tools ready this time. I had all my tools here behind me, so I didn't spend nearly as much time digging around looking for things as I did during the SFX unboxing. And I think that's all I've got. Do you guys in chat? I'm going to walk over and just check out chat real quick because I haven't read it like once today. If you guys have any questions about this or things you want to see while I have it out and we're looking at it, let me know. And I'd be happy to address them. Hey, Sargon's here. What's up, Sargon?
Yeah, buddy. We caught up on the questions.
Nice.
Yuri said trigger. Yep, it's got a trigger.
Yeah, it would be cool if it was Lightburn compatible. I don't really think Lightburn, that's kind of like one of the things I really like about the software here. I know I just spent 5 minutes talking shit about the software, But the software is really, really well laid out UI-wise for being a touch interface, which Lightburn is not at all. So unless we got some kind of like custom Lightburn revision for touchscreens, I feel like it'd be pretty miserable to use on like a 7-8 inch screen like this.
That's part of, if you remember, I know you remember, but if any of you guys were watching LBX, that was one of the big things that Jason talked about during one of the Q&As where somebody had brought up Lightburn compatibility.
Like, why isn't it on Android or iPad or whatever?
Android or iPad or just mobile devices in general, like remote control via phone or whatever. The whole redesigning software and interface control for a completely different device type is like an enormous undertaking when you have so much built into one software that's designed to do so much.
Yeah.
Like if they were going to do that, it would probably end up being a very cut down, different user experience completely that I don't think a lot of people are expecting.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, the fact that it has like on that right side of the panel, it has kind of that, I keep calling it like a Ruida interface for like moving around your work area and kind of achieving graphics. Because that's what you do. You touch a Ruida controller, right? I mean, they're buttons, but you touch it. That makes a lot of sense. That was very, very smart implementation of the software. There's just some things that are missing that need to be added. So I don't hate the software. I could use the software regularly. And you shouldn't even be like designing things really on the fly on this machine. You can. We've seen it with like the on-screen keyboard, right? Like you can do it. You can do everything from here with no mouse, with no keyboard, right on this touch interface. It's just not very convenient. I think it's far more suited for designing everything in advance, even in something like Lightburn, and then exporting the files you need to the device to be run on the fly, like while you're out doing whatever it is that you need to do. The one big downside to that, of course, which I'll mention really quick here in this unboxing too, since it's the same exact software, is that you can't import an SVG into this. I don't know why. That drives me nuts. We should be able to import SVGs. So Bing Yan, if you're watching, just like I told SFX, please tell the software developer for this that you need to be able to import SVGs, because if you can't import an SVG, I mean, that just takes the whole do the work somewhere else and bring it in and just throws it out the window. DXFs are so hard to work with laser, and I just have a hard time understanding why they would go with DXF over SVG when it can't be that hard to implement the other if you have one. So that's definitely something I'd like to see too. But for what this is and for what Bing Yan did, which is the amalgamation of the hardware, fucking gets the stamp from me, man. I'm stoked on it. This is exactly what I was hoping for when I wanted something a little bit smaller. Yes, I would have liked, something like the Makera style. I'm still hoping someone will send me one eventually. I'm sure they will. But in the meantime, this really scratches that itch for sure. It's nice, man. They got the kind of gunmetal stuff that Mactron's got going on. Did you notice that, by the way?
Yeah.
Like gunmetal gray.
I like that finish.
It's a great finish, and it's on everything. So it all kind of looks like it's one unit. You don't have like a big silver plate down here or like a big silver scan head. It's definitely got some thought and work put into it. Not as complete of a product as the SFX, as we've said many times, but enough that you can tell that they gave a shit about what they were producing when they designed it. So that's really nice to see. If chat's still quiet, dude, I'm good. I'm out. That's until I have time to actually, put this through its paces and maybe stack it up against the SFX. I feel pretty content as far as the first impressions videos go.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Well, that's all I've got for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you got value out of it, don't forget to smash the like button. Let everybody else know the content was good. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time we get a laser in the shop. One will be coming really soon. It's from Vision. That's all I'll say about it for now. But it's on the way. So we do have at least one more laser coming here to the studio. So we'll be doing at least one more unboxing in the very near future. So make sure that you're hitting that notification bell if you haven't already. And if you love the channel and you love the content we create, don't forget to sign up for the Laser Master Academy. We just uploaded a brand new course. It's Matt's Business 100, which is 100% up. Not all of the videos for it are completed yet, but you can complete all of the reading and his assessments. All of that stuff is up and ready to go now. So now there's 2 lessons, or yeah, I guess not lessons. They're like 2 like
Intro
courses.
thing?
Yeah, for lasers. Lasers 100 has at least 2 chapters up, and then now Business 100 has a chapter up as well. So if that's something you're interested, that's there. It's also a great community. Get help, support, answers, yada yada yada. All of that and so much more. Exclusive
And a bag of
bonus
chips.
content,
But not really.
extra live streams, all kinds of chips and things. So if you want to learn more about that and how you can support the channel so we can keep doing our jobs, you can find out more over at masters.lasereverything.net. We really appreciate each and every one of you guys. You're the reason we get to make this content, and we love doing our jobs. And I think that's all the plugs for today, guys. Links to the Bing Yan will go down in the description at some point. I actually am so I literally didn't know what this was when I had the crate, so I have not prepared all that stuff yet. So I'm gonna make sure I get the links to the right stuff before I just go tossing them into the description. But they'll be down there at some point. If they're not there today, check back tomorrow. You guys should see it by then. Okay, thanks for hanging out with me, Kyle. I appreciate you, buddy. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.